G'day, good morning, and welcome. My name's Tim, and I'm a writer, I'm a reader, I'm a creator, and today I'm going to take you over my review of Endurance by Alfred Lansing. But first, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm wearing a Denver Nuggets basketball hat. They play in an hour and a half, and I'm incredibly nervous. It's their game 7, and I'll either be really happy or really sad, depending on how the outcome goes. But I will post this video anyway. Back to Endurance. Endurance is one of those books that has sat on my to be read pile for far longer than it probably should have at this stage. It keeps popping up. It's one of those things that's like, oh, I should read that. And then you just never get around to reading it. Well, I read it last week and I wanted to share my thoughts. Endurance is one of the most thrilling, astonishing feats of exploration that has ever been recorded. In August of 1914, British ship Endurance set sail for the South Atlantic. In October 1915, half a continent away, Endurance was surrounded and crushed by ice. Ernest Shackleton, captain of the Endurance, is one of the most celebrated explorers of the 1900s. What he managed to achieve, who he managed to achieve it with, is one of the stories of a century. After the ship was crushed in October of 1915, for 5 months, Ernest Shackleton's team and men were drifting on ice packs, trying to find land, trying to save themselves. The men were castaways in one of the harshest environments the world has ever known. Alfred Lansing describes the 1,000-mile voyage the men went on over some of the stormiest seas. The story of Endurance almost doesn't feel real. It captures you. It's got rich information and history and storytelling, little details that you can only understand if you perhaps have been through something like that yourself, or if someone has shared some of the minor details after the fact. It reads almost like fiction, and it shows you just what these men encountered on this lengthy journey. They left in August of 1914 and somehow managed to survive for 2 years, returning in August and being rescued in 1916. And the entire time reading this story, I actually thought it went a different way. And it's a tale of survival. It's a tale of human feat. The little details that Alfred gives you throughout this story is just immense. And the leadership of Ernest Shackleton throughout this story of history is just almost poetic in a way, just kind of the way that he didn't let it get them down, that they didn't give up, that they kind of kept ticking along, fighting for this thing that seemed completely hopeless for at least 2/3 of the story and throughout the series of the book. Even into the last pages, I thought they are finished and there is no chance for them. And I suppose when I think about stories, this is kind of what I want from my stories. This is what I want from tales and history and exploration. I want those really cool, interesting survival stories of how the hell did you end up from here and get yourself to here in that time frame, and how did it work? And what it shows me is that human potential is really untapped in our modern world, and what we can put ourselves through if we have a reason to. There were really cool details just on the way they smoked their cigarettes and how resources disappeared and how they had planned to get to here and then it failed and they had to rediscover where they were. And there's a section of the book where they are going through, there's 3 men, they are going through the most savage sea, the Drake Passage, in hopes of finding land so they can save their crew who is stuck on another bit of land away from civilization. They're not 100% sure where they are, and they're just hoping that they can get there without enough fresh water in a small rescue boat. And to this day, they are only one of 2 boats that has managed to cross that passage of ocean with that kind of boat. But what I just really want to say is I love those information books. I love The Golden Spruce by John Valiant. I love The Wager by David Graham. I love those information rich stories of adventure and exploration. And if you have any of those that you have in mind, you think that perhaps I should read, leave them in the comments for me because I'd be really interested to pick those up. But what I think this story really encompassed for me was kind of the surprise of them surviving, but also just this idea that if you do things for the right reason and you have the right intent, that it will work out at least some of the time. And I like human survival. I like the human condition, and it's a really good tale of the human condition and how it presents in the world in those really hard situations. Anyway, that's my review of Endurance. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you get something out of it the way that I did. I would highly recommend picking it up, and I will see you back here in the next one.